What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Okay, I wanted to talk about Soulbound reward cards and why I understand that there's a lot of discussion around them right now, but I think it's a problem slash solution for later. And I mean much, much later. Now, what do I mean by that? When I look at Soulbound reward cards, I think that they're a cool concept. I think that they are worth putting into the game, but everybody's talking about it like it's going to happen in January and it's going to impact everything for us. And while it may happen soon, they may be implemented soon, I wanted to take a look at the print rates as well as discuss kind of the team's history on actual implementation of things. So again, I keep harping on this, and I have to use it as an example, but they talked about season rentals and implementing season rentals back in July or August of earlier this year, and it's still not here. 6 months later, or 5 months later, we still don't have it, and there's just now being the talk of getting it into the game or working on it to put it into the game. So that's like 5 to 6 months on a feature that I would say didn't seem like a huge overhaul. I know it probably was a lot of code and there's a lot that goes into it, but in terms of like an economy redesign and all that, it seemed like just like a filter that you could put in. Now, granted, I admit my ignorance when it comes to coding and all the technical stuff. I'm sure there's a difficult aspect to it, but what I believe were the delays were, they had a bunch of other things, sales and pre-sales all throughout the fall, and they were just focused elsewhere, right? But I do think that there was also just this idea that we have this idea, or we have this thing that we want to implement, but it's going to take some time, and we'll eventually get to it. So when it comes to Soulbound reward cards, Matt did mention that he wants to get them out soon because when you look at some of these common reward cards, their print rates, at least the older ones, are in the mid 90s. You can see 93.7, 93.8%. Now that is the highest, but you look at the rares, these are in the 80%, 70% for the epics. And what I want to focus on here is the legendaries. 64% for Jin Bilchka, Jin O'Shaughnessy, and Harklaw. They're not moving very quickly. And these have been in print since September or October of last year, of 2021. So they have been there for maybe close to 14, 15 months now. And that included a time when the player base was skyrocketing. Right? We had the last 3 months of last year, maybe the first couple of months of 2022, when the bot farms were going crazy, and it was much easier. There was 500,000 daily active accounts, maybe even more at certain periods. So this has slowed down significantly. And what I'm trying to point out here is the fact that if it took us 15 months to get to 64% on these, there's still a way to go. Plus, you still have 3 more legendaries, Countess Sinesh, Jared Scarv, and Tarkinjo, that are only at 16%. I mean, unless they do something to artificially increase the drop rates on these, which, again, would really do a lot to hurt their value. But if they were to do that, again, I don't think that they would. So that's the thing. We're going to be in this for a while. There are going to be cards that give value out for a while. And even if they do end up implementing the new Soulbound reward cards, there will be this kind of fun element whenever you open a chest. It's like, is it going to be a Soulbound reward card, or is it going to be real money? Right? It's going to be value in an NFT that I can use or sell or trade, rather than a Soulbound reward card. And I think Soulbound reward cards will have a certain novelty, at least initially, but ultimately I don't know that, well, whatever. We're not going to get into the viability of Soulbound reward cards. Some people look at it as further problems. Some people look at it as a solution. I think it could be a mix of both, but I think it's definitely worth trying. My point is that I think it's way overblown right now. And with all of the things that the team has on their plates, sure, can we expect new reward cards within the next, we'll call it 6 weeks, because we're about mid-December right now. So by the end of January, can we expect them? Sure. Yeah, because, and really the only reason that I'm thinking we would expect them is because Matt almost wanted to implement them before the end of the year, before the holiday. And he mentioned that just because of the fact that we're in the 90th percentile, or the 90th percent. Yeah. So at this point, these are still moving relatively slow, even for the common ones. So I wouldn't expect these to be even out of print until I don't even know, but probably not even in January. These might still go on for a while. So I actually think there is a chance Soulbound reward cards get delayed for a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe even, right? Once we get closer to the printout or, the end of the print run for these common cards, that would really be the only time that you would want to have them in. Now, again, like, could they just continue on and not have the Soulbound reward cards? Yes, but then you'd have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 new common reward cards. These would start printing like crazy, and it would take a while for the rest of them to catch up. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, on the whole, I think Soulbound reward cards making an impact in the economy is actually going to take more than 6 months. In fact, it may even take a full year. Like we won't be fully into Soulbound reward cards, right? Where there's no cards left here. No NFT based cards until 2024. And I know it's crazy, right? Everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is going to change the game." It will to a certain extent, but I don't think this is going to be like just a massive overhaul where all of a sudden like there's a complete stop of the old style and then we only get Soulbound reward cards. I think we're going to ease into it, and I think we're going to ease into it for a very long time. Again, they could be implemented into the game as early as January, and you look at the print rates on these legendary cards. These are not going out of print anytime soon. It's taken 14, 15 months just to get to 64%. And if they're going to add in more reward cards to dilute the amount that are getting printed, that means Sinesh, Jared Scar, Venator Kindred, they're going to go even slower, right? And not just these. I'm talking about the legendaries, but you could say the same for the epics, rares, and commons. So I think, and this is what I mean by that, what will end up being the title, I think that Soulbound reward cards are going to be a problem/solution for 2024. I don't think they're going to impact us much in 2023. Now, could land come out and maybe, eat up a lot of cards and make things interesting? Sure. That doesn't have anything to do with Soulbound reward cards, though. But it could eat up a lot of the extra cards that we have, non-Soulbound reward cards, off of the market at that time. Granted, they're hoping to get functional land out, so phase 2 of it, by the end of next year. So you see where I'm going, where it's just like 2023 is going to be a little hamster wheel running in place while we wait for the rest of the economy and the game economy to get itself right. So I know 2023 is around the corner, and I'm already looking forward to 2024 because, you know me, Papa Bear here, thinking that 2023 is not going to be as fun as 2022 was. And I mean that literally. I think it's going to be even more brutal. But 2024 is hopefully right around the corner. And as I was saying, for at least the purposes of this video, I think that Soulbound reward cards are not going to be a problem/solution that we need to really worry about until 2024. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're seeing something different, if you think that we're going to get a massive influx of players next year, again, that could change things. Let me know how you're feeling about it overall. But otherwise, I will catch you on the next video and see you around the game. Take care.